They're just random questions that people always are asking about you. They want. Beyond physical health, what other aspects do you think are crucial for achieving longevity and leading a fulfilling life in your later years?
I don't know. I just live one day at a time. Do whatever I need to do that day and try to stay in contact with everybody and just be happy. Just be happy every day. And don't say get up and be grouchy and you don't like the weather, you don't like this. Just be happy. Because if this was your last day on earth, how would you want to spend it? I would want to be happy. I think people around here get tired of saying, "Oh, hi Ed, how are you doing?" I say, I'm doing good every day. I really do. That's the way I say. I'm doing good every day.
What life lessons have you learned from being a parent?
That you don't know what you don't know. Life is full of surprises. What you would expect when you think you know your child, they'll surprise you by doing a 360-degree turn. And that's not for the good or for the bad, it's just different. Don't assume that you know your kids or know anyone for that matter, because you really don't know them.
Yeah.
Life teaches you who they are. I have watched each one of you kids bring your kids up, and I've thought to myself, I wish I had listened more to my kids, like say Dallas does or Trina does, because I watch you and I learn. I'm never too old to learn.
A piece of advice you've received that has stuck with you throughout the years?
You can only live one day at a time. You don't know what that day's going to bring. You got to do the best you can in that day. That's exactly what I've had to do, and I guess most people do. Everything may not be favorable, it may not be what you would want or expect, but it's what you have to deal with that day.
Yeah.
I've not always been in control of what I wanted or didn't want, but I knew what I had to deal with, and I dealt with it the best way I could.
Have you ever had a mentor or a significant influence in your life? And what was the most important thing they taught you?
Nana and Nunu, my in-laws, who I loved so much. When I watched them with their children and their grandchildren, and they were such basic people. They disciplined with love. It wasn't spanking or yelling or demanding. It was just that they were so good to their kids, and their kids knew they loved their parents. The kids were actually good because they didn't want to disappoint their parents.
Yeah.
Not because they were being chastised. And I think that's a different way of looking at discipline.
Yeah. What do you think the secret is to long-lasting relationships?
Realize that you have to nurture it all the time. You can't take it for granted. And it has to be the prime thing in your life. I mean, your objective before anything else. Yeah, a relationship with your husband. You've got to meet their needs, on all levels. And lots of times you got to defer what you would like to do or whatever to them. And they've got to reciprocate. They've got to do the same thing for you.
A question I get often, I think people would be surprised at what your diet is. People want to know, how do you stay so slender? What do you eat every day? You're not a vegetarian.
No.
You eat anything. You cook 99% of your meals. You very rarely do you eat out. So you do make your own meals.
I make my own meals.
What is it? And I'm honest, and I tell people that obviously she's a very small eater. As you can tell by her build, you're very petite.
I am an
You don't
under
eat enough. You know that, and you've been like that for years. You just don't have a big appetite.
Yeah.
As you age, I don't have a great appetite at all.
Yeah.
So food for you is medicine.
Right.
Medicine.
Right. I'm not a foodie. I don't really enjoy food. I eat to live, not live to eat. I am a very basic eater, and I do most of my own cooking, which is like chicken and vegetables and salads and things like that. I've had this all my life. That my parents used to say to me as a child, Eddie doesn't eat enough. But I obviously eat enough to sustain me. I think the heaviest I've ever been is 115.
Treats for you that you do like, that you enjoy, like
I love Cinnabon. I love pie, ice cream. Yeah, those are my guilty pleasures. I love chocolate. I actually do balance that with the healthy foods.
Right.
When I plan my dinner, I'm thinking, oh, you gotta eat more protein.
do you not let fear rule your mind, like fear of illness?
I'm being really fortunate, so blessed. that I have really not had any big issue with anything that were as painful for me, or like any internal problems that I've been dealing with. I don't take medications of any kind.
How often do you see a doctor?
Sometimes maybe once a year, and it's probably over some crazy thing like a rash. I did have skin cancer on my neck twice, which I've had to have removed, which was really no big deal. I mean, I've had no major illness. I had COVID a couple of times, but I recovered from it easily enough, you know.
Yeah. Do you take supplements?
I do take supplements. Iron, multivitamins, AG1, which I take every morning.
So I know that it's difficult for you to eat enough food, but is there anything that you like try and focus on in particular?
Chicken and fish, I do. That's my prime protein intake. I know I need the proteins, really need the proteins. So I try to focus on that. And then I try to take, you know, protein whenever I can, you know.
Drinks, yeah.
I don't take it between my drinks that I take rather than have just a plain soda.
How has your faith inspired you?
I believe in a higher power. To live by what I believe, which is basically the golden rules. I believe you've got to be kind to other people and love other people, and you want them to be kind and love you, and you hope that you've done the best you can throughout your life. And life is an adventure. I mean, believe me, when you're young, you have no idea where it's going.
As you've gotten older, have you experienced any changes in the way people treat you that you find disappointing?
As I get older, I realize people are kinder and gentler. They like to talk to you because they realize that they can get some information from you, and they value that. It's something that they haven't had to face yet, and they want to know what you did or how you did it.
Right.
What I can pass on is all the mistakes I've made, because I've made so many. As I get older, people are treating me better. Really, that's the truth.
Is there one mistake that sticks out in your mind that you've made that you go, gosh, if I could go back and change one thing?
Yes. I'll be less busy with day-to-day things, and say maybe let the house work or something go a little, and spend more time just sitting listening to my kids. And that is a really important thing, is listening, not talking.
Yeah.
You learn more when you listen than when you talk.
Right. Have you always been into health and fitness?
No. I've always been active, and not because I thinking about, oh, I gotta be active. It's just my body tells me I'm not happy when I'm just sitting down and being a vegetable. I'm painting a room, or I'm working in the garden, or taking my dog for a walk, or if I sit down to watch TV, I'll watch for 10 minutes and I think, oh, I forgot to do something, and I'll jump up and I'll go do it.
You feel better.
Yeah, going to the gym on a regular basis, I really find it helps me mentally. I wake up in the morning, I go to the gym, and I feel so good. I don't always want to go to the gym, but after I've done it, I feel so much better than if I hadn't done it just at home. I would feel like a couch potato. When I come home, my mind is active, and my day goes on from there.
Right.
Oh, and I sleep really well. I don't have a sleeping problem at all.
Yeah. Your posture's so amazing. People are sitting up so straight. The way you stand, you don't slouch like someone that's aging. Are you a dancer? You have a dance background?
No. From time to time, I do think, make sure you stand straight, because I see so many people, not even old people, but young people, and they walk with their shoulders bent forwards, and it makes them look so much older.
Right.
You know, at the gym the other day, when we're hanging from the bars and everything, boy, that really stretches you out.
Yeah.
I feel, mentally, I feel today like I've always felt, like every day of my life. I don't feel old, and I sometimes refer to people, I hear somebody has passed away, and I'll feel sad, and I'll say to myself or to others, well, you know what, he or she they had a good life, they were 85, you know. It's too bad they passed away, but, and then I'm thinking, what am I saying? And I'm older than that myself. What am I saying?
Yeah.
You know, when you get to be 92, you know that you've got an expiry date coming up not too far away. And I can't even think about that, because mentally I'm not ready.
Right.
It's hard for me to realize
Right.
that I'm approaching that.
Yeah. Does it bother you when people ask you, how do you feel to be 92, or how does it feel?
It doesn't bother me, but I just say the same thing. I feel the same today as I did 30 years ago or 20 years ago, or mind you, when I look at my pictures, I realize I can see the age progressing. But inside, as I even sit to myself and I'm thinking, you're at the long end of the spectrum, like you can count on your hands probably how many years you've got left. I can't get my mind around that because I just don't feel that way.
Right.
I just took my passport, a new passport, and I got one for 10 years because I plan on being here.
Good. That's smart. You will be.
Yeah,
You could live to 110, right?
I could.
For sure.
I
Yeah.
could.
Does your body hurt anywhere?
Yes.
I know you feel.
No, I'm not in pain anywhere. My knees hurt when I do certain things, but not enough that prevents me from doing them. My thumbs, I know I've got arthritis in my thumbs. That's harder for me to open bottles and cans and things like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop me from doing it.
Mm-hmm. Because I think people would be surprised at what your diet is. People want to know, how do you stay so slender? What do you eat every day? So, Mom, what do you look forward to each morning that you get up?
Each day's an adventure. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Or whatever comes up.
But I know that there's something that you say each day when you wake up.
I always say to myself every day, I'm really happy to be here, and I'm happy.
Right.
You know what? People around here get tired of seeing me and say, "Oh, hi, and how are you doing?" Because I always say, "I'm doing great. It's a great day. It's pouring raining. It looks miserable out, and it's a great day."
Yeah. Do you ever take hormone replacement therapy?
I never took hormone replacement therapy. Very many things that you did or took back then that made you younger. Like now, every time you go online, you see how to enhance this and how to make that better, or how to stop your aging. They had nothing like that you even had the opportunity to choose from.
Yeah. How have you dealt with stress in the past, or how do you deal with stress now?
I was stressed.
How did you?
I don't think I thought about it when I was going through it. I just did what I had to do at that particular moment or hour. I just had to do what I thought was the best thing for basically you kids at that time. And there's some things that are out of your control.
How do you stay positive all the time? Because you are such a positive person.
When you're negative, when you're down in the dumps, and you're thinking, "Oh, it's a rainy, dull day, oh, what an awful day this is," or "I'm bored today," who wants to be near you? You don't want to push people away. Being negative doesn't help anyone in any situation.
I just turned 60. If something you would tell me now that I'm 60.
You're still young at 60.
Yeah,
There's so many people who are middle-aged and looking forward to retirement, and "Oh, I can't wait till I retire. I can do nothing." What a future. Who wants to look forward to that?
Right.
I didn't even want to retire.
Right.
If you're able to retire then, do it. But don't stop living then. 60 is young. It's in your mind.
Yeah. Is there an example of one healthy do and one healthy don't that you can think of?
Attitude is a healthy do. Could be an unhealthy do. But that's the big thing. That's one word would be attitude. If you have a good attitude, no matter what we're thinking about, it's positive. If you have a bad attitude, it's negative. You've got to have a good attitude.
Yeah. Do you have a 92nd birthday wish?
I did.
Did you?
That you kids would all be here. That makes me happy.
Anything as you age, though, that like if it was taken away from you, you'd be like that.
I want to be able to drive. I don't want to not be able to drive because then you lose your independence.
Right.
Material things, if you ask me if there's any material things that I'm lacking, absolutely not.
Do you want a cell phone?
Yes and no. I would like to have a cell phone because I would like to be able to communicate with each other and find things out about what's selling at stores and everything by pushing a little button. But I'm compromised in that area, and it just causes me more anxiety and trouble than help.
If you could live to a certain age, what age would you like to live to?
I can't answer that one.
Yeah.
I want to live forever.